Welcome you back to Black Site. We have bombshell news. There is an eyewitness to the Karmelo Anthony so-called murder of Austin Metcalf. First, I would like for you to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, hit that notification button, but also comment on this video. The first eyewitness has spoken, and he said he was there with his daughters that day, and he saw the whole incident between Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. He said it was raining that day, that Karmelo Anthony was sitting under the tent by himself on his cell phone, scrolling through his cell phone. Then he saw the twins, the Metcalf twins, come over and start harassing Karmelo Anthony. Austin told Karmelo to leave the tent. The man who was there with his twin daughter said this wasn't a high school event. It was a community track event. And basically, Austin Metcalf told him to leave. They proceeded to throw some of his items on the floor. Some say it was his iPhone, also some of his sports gear. But Austin decided to put his hands on Karmelo. So since it was two of them, Karmelo thought that he was outnumbered, that he would get thumped on. So he decided to go in his bag and stab Austin Metcalf. Now, I personally believe that Karmelo was standing his ground. He was protecting his own self-interest. If you got two 225-pound young men standing in front of you, ready to beat your ass, and they have already put their hands on you, what do you expect them to do? You expect for him, just like any other white man that was sitting in the same place, and it was two black men, and they were ready to jump on him, and he stabbed him. You know what would happen? Fox News and all these conservative publications will be out here supporting that white man. But they're not supporting Karmelo Anthony. They're calling him a thug. What is he doing with a knife? Can I ask anybody this? In the state of Texas, the Lone Star State, everybody got a pickup truck and a gun. So why has everybody got a gun? Why everybody got a gun in the back of their pickup? So why can't he have a knife in his book bag or his sports bag? He was trying to preserve his life, because you don't know what would have happened once they finished whooping on him. So this is what the eyewitness says. So now the police is telling everybody, you got to be careful of misinformation. You know what misinformation is to them? When the truth is coming out. So they say, be careful of misinformation. We have heard this a multitude of times over the past 4 or 5 years. But I'll say this, for Officer Tatum, Charleston White, and all those people out there who happen to be black and who supporting Austin Metcalf and his family, would you be supporting Austin Metcalf if he killed those two black men in the same situation? If the shoe was on the other foot and he was the white man and two black men, you know what? You would be over there buck dancing for the one who stabbed one of the black men. So I'm glad that Karmelo raised $200,000 so far so he could get him a top attorney, so he can also get bail, which he should be released. This young man has no criminal history, 4.0 average student, excellent football player, football scholarships, everything that you want a young black man to do in high school. But he was not the aggressor in this situation. He was sitting there by himself. Can you imagine you sitting somewhere by yourself and two huge young men come up to you? Wouldn't you feel threatened? Wouldn't you think about self-preservation? That's what he was thinking about. But that's not what they were thinking about. They were thinking about, hey, this young black man should have took that ass whooping and went home. That's what they're saying. And this is what the Metcalfs probably been doing in the neighborhood ever since they've been young boys. I guarantee you that. That's who they are. Because I heard the interview with his mother. He was speaking with his mother, and the other twin was ready to blurt something out. The mother said, that's enough. You know why? Because everybody is on code in Frisco, especially in the white community. They know what happened. It had to be other eyewitnesses, and it's probably some video that they're probably hiding. So they're trying to make this young man into a thug for defending himself. See, because we can't be Daniel Penny. We can't be none of these other white people who defend themselves against black people and they go home scot-free. But this young man had to protect himself. He thought about his life when he saw these huge savages right in front of him. So right now, he's sitting in a county jail with $1 million bond in a state where you have the right to stand your ground. See, this is going to blow up because we have an eyewitnesses. We have probably a multitude of eyewitnesses, but some of them don't want to speak. But finally, this black man spoke. He had the guts to come out because we don't know how that community really is in Frisco, Texas. Because we have all this sympathy for this young white boy. He's the golden boy, the all-American boy. This kid is being presented as the thug. But this kid is no thug. This kid did nothing wrong but defend himself. And he has the God-given right to defend himself, as Malcolm would say. People will disagree with this video. I don't care. But Karmelo Anthony stood his ground like every other man has the right to stand his ground. I would love to hear your comments in the comment section. I want to thank you for listening to Black Site. Hope you subscribe to this channel. Smash that like button, but also share this video.